questions for myself. I can say that it's really a really nice welcome. You know, we walked off the set 2.5 years ago, and to come to these things and see all you guys and just as much excitement as ever before is really touching for me. And really lovely, and it's great to see a lot of familiar faces and new faces. And I will answer pretty much anything and everything. So if there's anything in specific you'd like me to discuss about the show or anything like that, please ask away.
What are you working on now?
What am I working on now?
Besides your kids.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, I gotta be honest. But I am getting back in the game after a longer than intended break. So we'll see. We'll see. The sci-fi world could be calling my name again. Who knows? It'd be very cool. My sister, yeah. So she was saying that Lost Girl was kind of left open to spin-offs, basically. You know, I don't know if they intended to. I mean, I think they intended to do that, to leave it open. I love that the show was left with Beau's message and Beau's legacy. I'm sort of passing out.
No,
Excuse
keep
me.
going.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
Join me? No. Oh, yes.
You don't need me, I'll go.
No, be here. Oh, good. This is so much better. I will finish answering your question, though. And I'm Anna.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Blacker. I'm the creator and moderator of the Nerdist Writers panel and the Nerdist Comics panel. I'm thrilled to be here. We don't have time for the rest of your questions. What have you guys talked about? What's going on?
Not a lot yet, I have to be honest. We just got started. So
Do you want to finish answering that?
I do. I just thought it was really nice that you know, Beau's legacy was really left to be passed along to a younger woman, her knowledge and everything that she learned, and it set it up that there was a lot more to come and a lot more to be ready for. So I just loved that so much. Thank you for your question. Okay, good. Me too.
You're a delight. What are you on? No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I assume most of you guys have come to see Anna do other talks before, right? By round of applause, is that true?
Yeah.
Right. So, I have some questions I want to ask, but we are going to mostly leave it up to them.
Okay.
I hope that's okay.
It's more than...
All right. And again, I will leave it any time. If you want to get rid of me, I'm glad to. I have a lot of work to do. It's really fine. I have a book to write. Guys, check out my new Star Wars book. Join the Resistance. It's out March 7th from Amazon.com or your local bookstore. So, look, Lost Girl, it started, what, like 2005?
Yeah, when did it start? 2005.
It started in like the 80s, right?
When did we start?
2010.
My point is, 2010, thank you. My point is, you were a working actor before this. You know, you had done series, you had done guest spots and things like that. I'm curious to hear about why this role was different for you. What led to this role? What was the audition process like?
You know what? I actually still have my audition tape. Well, I mean, this came along like a lot of auditions do, just, you know, through my amazing agents, and it was something that I actually put on tape as any audition, and I thought, wow, this is a really cool project. Wow, this is a really cool role. I wonder who will get it. Okay, you know, I put it on tape, and I loved it, and it got a response.
And I apologize, I'm going to interrupt a bunch because I want to sort of dig deeper on this stuff, but do you remember what the material was for the audition?
I do. It was the scene between Lauren and Beau, where I rip off her collar. It's, you know, she's wearing the Ashes necklace. And I say something like, this is your dog collar. Now I can't remember it, but that scene, which was in episode 8, which was what we shot first actually as our pilot. That scene between Bo and Lauren, where she's hurt. Bo is very, very hurt by Lauren. That was that one, and oh God, what was the other one? I can't remember the other ones.
How was this role, when you were first given the sides or the script, how was it different from stuff you had been playing, or was it different?
Well, I think the show itself was so different, but the show was really, really unique. But also to play such a sexy sexual woman and have her be really more than one-dimensional was unique. So what was coming my way? So her sexuality was at the core of who she was, rather than something she sort of wore on top, and that was really cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So then, once you got the role, I'm curious to hear about, how do you approach this character? How do you play that sexuality, but play the other things? Look, I don't understand actors. It's, I'm a television writer. I hardly ever run into actors. It's like a weird magic. So explain the process, your process to us, please.
Well, process with any role, it's different. With Bo in particular, I think that she was starting so new into the Fae world. She was brand new, so I kind of felt brand new to the role as well. So we were kind of starting in the same place. So the show really unfolded in a way that made sense for me. And as in terms of playing Fae, you don't play Fae. You can't do that. You have to just play the reality of the world that you're in. So it was a supernatural world where there's creatures and you have to fight and use your powers. But that's just Tuesday in Faeland. So, it really just the world they created for us made it very easy to connect to the characters and to the world. I'm wearing Bo's boots right now.
And as long as you're not going to show up, so am I.
He's actually wearing a pair of Bo's boots.
Yeah. You can get him down at booth 21. What was the fun of the show for you? What was the candy of the show?
What was the fun? Oh my God.
I'm not going to ask about the worst part.
There was no worst part, to be honest. It was all great. We had hard days, We had disagreements, for sure. But they were all part of the process for us. The show was just fun. The crew is your audience every day. So they, to have them on board for 5 seasons and not getting tired of us. And just being able to kind of entertain each other. And then once it started to resonate with audiences, that was the candy. Is it candy, you said? Yeah.
It's a writer's room talk. And I'm curious to hear, look, let's talk about the sexy bits.
Okay.
That's my whole question.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything you want to tell us? Like, what were the... Hold on, I'm going to rephrase this. What were the challenging parts? The sexy bits?
Well, I got to make out a lot with Chris Woodreed and Zoe Palmer, so that was hard. Oh, man. It was great. I mean, I think I've told this story before, but the first time my husband
This is just for us.
This is just for you and I. You are really wonderfully weird. But
they drag me off and you find out I'm not the moderator.
Oh yeah, my husband, when he saw the first episode that we had done, and Chris and I had this love scene, and my husband was just like, wow. I didn't really take it, and I thought, we did it. And I was like, sorry. The love scenes are what they are. I mean, they're awkward. You're naked. You want good light. Smell good.
It's like as if there are no cameras. You said you want the same thing.
Yeah, there are cameras. It's called a closed set, so they have the minimal amount of people on set. I've been on sets doing love scenes where some people have to wear hoods so they can't see you. Which is kind of weird, so some people are hooded. And some are it's odd. Something my husband and I like to incorporate into our own But it was as comfortable as it could be. I think I have had my fill of love scenes. I don't know how many are in my future.
It feels like you've taken it for the whole team. Love scenes versus action scenes. Or maybe love scenes are a kind of action.
They are.
But like, tell me about the different skills involved and the different kinds of, like, I would imagine for either one of those, it's sort of hard to be in the moment, which is your job as an actor.
It is. I mean, you know, love scenes too, you just have to go for it, otherwise it doesn't work. And so you just be in the moment. You're right, that's what you do.
All right.
You're wise, very wise.
I read a lot.
I don't know.
Do you have anything to plug?
No.
We'll get out of here in 20 minutes.
I don't have anything coming up. I've taken a very long break.
Good for you. I have a few things to plug. We're going to get to some questions here. Go ahead, ask your question. Make sure it's a question. I don't want some preamble. We know you love the show. We know you love Anna.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hi, Anna. I just wanted to say I felt some really strong connections to a lot of the characters over the course of the series, and it was really, really hard to let everyone go. Like, I just, fell in love with Bo and with Kenzie and everybody. And I just wondered what that was like for you and for the cast when you had those final moments and had to say goodbye.
It was hard. It was really hard. Thank you for saying that about the show. I feel like, Bo doesn't really belong to me. I played Bo, and I was so blessed to play her, but she kind of belongs to everybody. She really, really does. So I feel like she sort of lives on in everyone that knew her and loved her. I really do. And the final moments, when we rehearsed the final scene, there was lots of tears. But we really wanted to finish strong. And Zoe and I, about 2 months before we wrapped, we were like, you could feel kind of everyone coming apart at the seams a bit because the show was ending and we were going to have to say goodbye. And we thought, let's finish so strong and so happy and just go out with such a blaze of glory, in our own minds anyway. And we did. We walked away so strong. And I left the set that night with my husband. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning after hugging everyone and saying goodbye. And we got into our car and we're driving home. And I said to him, it feels like the studio is just like disappearing into a little bit of smoke. It just feels like the best dream I ever had. Oh, now you're gonna make me cry. That's the truth. That's the truth. We loved it, and we said goodbye with a lot of strength.
I'm glad you guys were able to, pull that last off and go well and make the best of it.
Have you watched the final episodes?
I have.
You were able to go back and watch that stuff?
Yeah, I watched the final episode. I think we tweeted live or something. I did. I remember being very invested in that final episode.
Did it hit you as emotionally watching it? Did you feel a separation from it? Because it's obviously many months later, or probably at least weeks later.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt really proud of it. I felt proud of it when I read the episode too. I remember my heart was racing, and I thought, this is the last one I'm going to read. But I was so happy when I finished it. I was so happy with it.
Yes, sir.
Hi. And I was just wondering, with so many emotions running ragged through the entire series, what was the most emotional scene for you to film?
God. Probably Kenzie's death. Yeah, that was a weird one too, because I sat in my trailer for like 11 hours, which like never happened to me, as I was waiting and waiting, and I wasn't inside while they were shooting all the stuff that led up to it. So I went in after hours and hours and hours into this building that was full of, lots of background performers and lots of people. It was really hot, sort of energized in there. And yeah, that was very emotional. And I think the one where I go back to see my adopted mom too, and she's not well, and that was very emotional too. I don't know, we had some tender moments.
Awesome, thank
I
you.
said, yeah.
When you're faced with a scene like that, a deep emotional scene, how do you dig in and do it? Do you revisit sadness in your life? Are you in the moment? Are you
No.
playing that character? What are you doing?
I mean, I'm sure all actors work very differently when it comes to stuff like this. For me, it has to be in the truth of the moment. If I start to think of something sad in my own life, it doesn't connect for me. You can think of sad things in your life, you don't burst into tears. They sit in you. So for me, I have to definitely play the moment. I think when you film a scene, you usually film in the master. It's a big wide shot. Then you move in for close-ups. If you're filming an emotional scene, that's a shitty way to film because you want to have your performance be in your close-up. So I think the scene with my adoptive mom was the first time I had the courage as an actor to ask that my close-up be first. So, and then I thought, okay, I want the setup to be my close-up first, because that's usually most of what they will use. And I went back to my trailer and thought, oh shit, I hope we can hit this scene. They're all setting up for the close-up, and oh my God, what if I can't do it? But I just tried to trust, and I was working with a great actress. And so sometimes it doesn't connect, I'll be honest, but usually with great writing and a great atmosphere it can.
That's terrific. Yes, ma'am.
So 2 years ago, we saw Rachel and Emmanuel, and we
asked them who their favorite kiss was, and it was you. For both of them, they said it was you. Out of anyone they had kissed on the show. So our question for you is the same question: who was your favorite kiss?
Oh my God, who didn't I kiss? Who was my favorite kiss? I know, I've kissed Zoe so much.
they said she smelled good. Yeah. We were really soft.
That's a big one.
Will you guys come to all my panels?
The women are definitely good kissers. They have puffy, glossy lips, and they do smell good. Chris can be painful because he's very scraggly, but he's a very powerful kisser, I'll tell you that. But wonderful. I don't know. I kissed Kenzie once, I think, which we were like, this is so weird. But I don't know. There was no bad kiss.
Those are good answers. Who's your favorite member of KISS? Thank you, guys.
Wasn't nervous till I got up here. So Bo is a very sexual character,
Thank you.
obviously. Yeah, thank you. So I was just wondering how that kind of transferred into your personal life. Like, did that spark your own sexuality?
Here we go. Look, should we bring your husband up? Let me rephrase the question. Was there anything about the character that you did admire and maybe wanted to be more like the character?
More sexually free.
Maybe. But she had more going on than just that.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer that. I want to. I really do.
You said you'd answer.
Just tweeted that.
There are no children here.
No.
I said there are no children.
Go for it.
I think
I'm good. Go for it.
people's sexuality it happens at different times in people's lives. I also think it's super private, and I'm not trying to say like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying mind your own business, I'm not saying that.
I'll say
What
mind
I'm
your own
saying is, I
business.
do think sexuality really is very private and personal, and it should be. I think it's really, really a big part of who we are.
Yeah.
The way that it can be portrayed in media now is so overt, to me it can get boring and not very sexy. So what I loved about Bo was that, you know, it was who she was. You know, there was no, she didn't have to like turn it on, you know? You know how there's just people who are just sexy? And they might not even be the prettiest people you've ever seen, they're just sexy. That was Bo.
Someone says check your phone.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, I'll answer the next one. Yeah, you check your phone.
It says tell Anna to check her phone because I just called.
Listen, only people with microphones are talking. Go ahead, what's your question?
Alright, so 4 years ago, Zoe Palmer and Chris Holden-Reed were here, and they talked about the awkwardness of Chris walking onto set wearing nothing but a sock, and how they reacted to those scenes. So my question is, how did you react to seeing Chris walk on set wearing just a sock and having to perform those intense sex scenes?
I've seen Chris in a sock a lot. Yeah, the men wear like this kind of socky pouch thing, and women wear like a patch that's taped to your body. It's super sexy.
Make today's glamorous, you guys.
Chris is a formidably built man. I mean, he's got an incredible physique. I think we all agree. He's ridiculous. And he's the most concerned about his physique more than anyone else. But he's got a powerful presence, and he's got an incredible body. You know, it's not just like a manipulated gym body. You know, it's like a really, he's gorgeous. But yeah, Chris he's very goofy, so seeing him in a sock, there's a lot of humor that comes about. I'll tell you one thing that are there children here? Like if there's babies, they won't get this, but, okay. A lot of things that male actors, I think there must have been like a male actor workshop at one point, because one thing they always say to women in sex scenes, and I've heard it from several male actors, is, forgive me if I do, and forgive me if I don't.
I'm so glad I showed up. Yes, sir.
So during the final season, you know, Bo kind of goes back and forth between Dyson and Lauren quite a bit, and I was really hoping that she would choose, you know, Dyson in the end. She kind of ends up with Lauren, so I was wanting to know how you felt about that, if you feel like if she should have chose Dyson, or like how you felt about that.
You know, when I read the finale, I went to Michael Grassi, who wrote the finale. He was our showrunner in the final season, and he was incredible. And I said to him, you know, the only question I had for him was about her choice at the end. And it's not because I was questioning the choice, I just thought, should Bo make a choice? I mean, she was all about not choosing. And so I questioned that, and he said, well, you know, Bo was definitely about not choosing, but our show is also about making a bold choice. And I think that she would naturally make this choice, and I totally agree. So I'm glad that was who she chose. I mean, fast forward 100 years, and maybe Bo and Dyson are like, remember Lauren? But I think that you know, but I think that the choice was right.
So for you, with your conception of both characters and what they wanted and everything, you felt like that was the right choice?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Did
you.
let me ask you this. So I wrote a show for many years, and we had sort of a love triangle on it. And our actress, who was fantastic and hilarious, got so invested in the soap opera of it. I mean, really, all the guys did. That when they get a new script, it was like, oh yeah, no, this is good, or I don't know, this is the choice today. Like, yeah, but it's not going to last. Were you invested like the viewer in the soap opera of these people's lives?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I remember it was season 3, I think, where the first episode, Bo and Lauren get together. And I was like, it's the first episode. We can't get married in the first episode. And they're like, no, we're going to do it in the first episode. I'm like, okay. I mean, at the end of the day, my job is to tell the story that's being written. I certainly had a lot of input in that, but I definitely got invested in that. It felt like it was too soon, you know? It's been 2 years.
I forgot.
I'm sorry, I couldn't tell. Yeah.
Hi, Anna. My name's Lacey. I'm a big Last Girl fan. Actually came here with a group of people dressed as the cast of Last Girl. My question is, as you journeyed into Bo and pushed on your own boundaries as an actress, what did you learn the most about yourself as an actress as you experienced this Lost Girl experience?
That's a great question. That's the one I was trying to ask. Thank you.
I think we would have to get a transcript from my therapist.
I am a therapist. And my practice is called Truth Psychotherapy.
I'm sorry, save the plugs for the end.
I learned so much, to be honest. I really did. I learned how to push boundaries. I learned to pick my battles. I learned how to really, truly support people. I learned how to support myself. And I learned to really just pace myself as well and really try to enjoy the moment rather than let it tumble over me and be gone. So those were the big positive things, for sure, that I learned.
That's a good answer. What did you learn from watching the show?
Oh, jeez. Don't get me started.
It's fair, right?
I learned a lot, and it's become one of my favorite shows. I was never a particular sci-fi fan. I'm not a particular fan of anything in that genre, but I became a fan very quickly, and I really, really enjoyed it all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So my question is actually more to do with like the costuming side, because each of the characters has like a really, really distinct aesthetic in it, and I love the Bo aesthetic. It's pretty much what drives my wardrobe these days. But I was wondering if there's anything that you kind of got jealous of for the other characters. Like Kenzie got to wear a lot of color and a lot of like really frilly, crazy stuff, and you're mostly like in the leather and the corsets and the black. So I was wondering if there was something that you're kind of like, I wish Bo would venture that way sometimes.
I don't know, I got to wear stretchy leggings a lot. I was really lucky that way. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about Bo's wardrobe is that, yeah, it was sexy and form-fitting, but it was also kind of like practical to do Bo. You know, she could kick butt in it and be ready for any kind of action, you know. It was really cool. I can't believe, honestly, that we never were nominated for anything with the costuming. It really bothered me because the really talented people that brought that to life, Ann Dixon originally and then Noreen Landry. But costuming and hair and makeup tell a story. And you don't really realize that until you're on set and realizing that if you're watching something on television and something feels off, I think Zoe is actually trying to get a hold of me.
Answer it.
But yeah, hair, makeup, and wardrobe tell a story. So each, you got to know each character because of that incredible wardrobe. And I'm glad you noticed. Thank you. Thank you. Just pause for a second.
Yeah.
FaceTime. See if I can get a hold of I was just not going to answer.
Someone tweet at her. Tell her we're trying to reach her.
Answer the phone.
We'll leave her a message.
introduction first.
Hi Zoe, it's Anna. I've got a couple of people here that want to say hello. We miss you all. Miss you and calm down.
Step up, please.
How old is that baby?
4 months.
Oh. Really?
Bo is such a femme fatale and such confidence. Did you find yourself taking on some of her attributes, like if you were a shy person, now you're super courageous, or just different traits?
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Bo's confidence is it really came from, you know, a true development of strength. I mean, she wasn't just confident. It was not one-dimensional. She really had to embrace her fear to be super confident, which I think is really, on the flight last night here, I sat next to this lovely man who we were talking about heroes, and because he was coming to this convention as well, and, you know, I was thinking about what he said, because heroes don't have to win all the time. They don't have to, you know, they have to fight all the time, and they have to be brave all the time. This is not now my husband, I'm sorry. But they don't have to just be confident. You know, there's a real struggle there, and there's a real fight for those around you. And I thought that was really an interesting thing that he and I had spoken about, and I think that sort of ties into Bo's confidence.
Yeah. So my question is, I guess, since Lost Girl started off as a Canadian show before being picked up on sci-fi and brought to the U.S., do you have a preference as to which television market you like to work in? Is there a different culture in the Canadian television market and the production side of things versus the American market? Or do you see like more interesting shows being produced in Canada versus America? Or I guess if you could speak a little bit about that.
I mean, that's a great question. I just think television has changed so much that it's an international market. I think there's so many networks with great television, great actors, great stories. So I think that at the time that we started, I think we got more of a fair shake in Canada to really get our show off the ground. Maybe we wouldn't have had that same kind of given that much of a chance, I guess. Had we been in the U.S. first, I don't know. But I do think it's an international market. I would, you know, you don't have to be on an American show anymore to have a really big, successful show that resonates. So that's a really good question, though.
Let's